I think there are two areas of education that we should spend some time talking about over a longer period of time, perhaps the next several years. One is 4 years, 5 years old, and younger. So sometimes we criticize the educational system for producing bad results, but perhaps the product that comes, the kid that shows up, isn't prepared to learn. And I'm not in favor of cradle to grave government being in charge of your life, so don't hear what I'm not saying. However, but by the time you're 3 years old, you have like 80% of your personality, 75 to 80% of your intellectual capacity, and it's based on the number of words in your vocabulary at 3. If you have a couple hundred words in your vocabulary, you're probably going to struggle. If you have as high as 1,100 words, your ability to go through college is almost guaranteed. So the fact of the matter is that because your brain you can still mold the brain at 3, you have an opportunity to have exponential returns. That's mom singing to you, probably not with my voice, but with yours. It's also reading to your kid. It's taking the time to do the fundamentals before they even become a part of the education system that increases exponentially the outcome of education. The second iteration of the conversation around education, I think, should happen around the 7th, middle school. Because by the time they get in high school, it's very difficult to turn someone around. I was blessed with 2 teachers who I thought hated me, but they actually loved me and they didn't put up with my crap. And so that gave me an opportunity to succeed. And then a mom who also encouraged me as well, as I spoke about earlier. But the 6th through the 8th grade, we have an opportunity to capture some of those kids that we missed early on. And I think we have to focus on a couple key areas of that educational process. And then we need to rethink education. Now, I probably ought not say this. I'm going to get in trouble. My staff's going to hate me saying this. You know how this works, right?
Two members of the press are present.
Thank you very much. They're going to love this then. But I'm going to say it anyways. We ought to rethink what we're talking about in education. We are still built on a 1930s or 40s model. Rote memory skills. We haven't fully considered or appreciated the 21st or the 22nd century of education. We ought to study models like Finland or 4 or 5 Asian countries, because number 1 is Finland, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are Asian countries. We ought to take a look at how many days kids are in school and what that means and where do we need to catch up. Here's what happens when a kid who's doing well 9 months of the year, when they get those 3 months off, if there's no plan for their educational opportunities to continue through the summertime, they drop off significantly. And so what we've seen, but based on most studies, is that the summertime is where kids who are struggling, they lose most of the ground during summertime. So even if they're competing during the school year, we're going to have to figure a new way for us to bridge the gap during the summertime if we want these kids to be competitive year-round.